So this video is on something that I see people get hung up with when they do night game. A lot of guys will go out and they'll just approach the girls they want. They won't say anything to anybody else. They'll kind of keep to themselves, right? They will tend to be the fly on the wall, the guy in the corner. Approach here and go back, and approach here and go back to that little corner. What you should understand is that night game specifically is social environment. So all types of night game are social environment. So you can have a day party. My mentor used to call it non-social and social environments, right? So a non-social environment is a bookstore, is a train or train station, a bus, anywhere where people don't expect to be talked to. They don't expect to have a conversation here. A social environment is where people expect to converse with somebody. Maybe they have friends there, maybe they don't, but they expect it, right? You see a lot more people getting loose and conversational in bars as opposed to walking on the street, right? It's very different. The energy is different. So in social environments, because it can be a day party too, it's the same type of environment, right? It's not you gotta make the distinction day game and night game, right? And some people think day game is when the sun is up, but it's just and night game is when the sun is down. It's social and non-social environments. In a social environment, you should take advantage of the fact that it is a social environment. So if you can approach already and you have no problem approaching, right? That's the first prerequisite. You can do that because using this, if you're a guy who has trouble approaching, you can run away from approaching and you don't have to do as much or you really don't have to do anything. But if you're a guy who's well built in that foundation, you have that foundation, you can do that. I would say get social. Compliment this guy's t-shirt. Compliment this chick's blouse. Right? Give a high five. Give random high fives to people. Treat it like a social environment because you can build social momentum that way. It allows you to potentially, not necessarily, depending on the size of the place, you can build good social momentum. People seeing you high five this person and talk to this person, and it looks like you've been here tons of times before, and people know you already, and it looks like you're a social butterfly. It helps you with your approaches. It turns what would otherwise potentially be a completely cold approach into a warm approach, especially if the girl that you like or the girls that you like see you doing that. And they think you already know these people, it looks pretty cool, right? Be social. Be social. Be willing to chat. Be willing to jump around like a lunatic and have fun, right? That puts you in good straits. And it also looks good. It looks right for the environment. And it allows you to, again, potentially make approaches that are a little bit warmer. It would be a lot easier for a guy who sees, maybe he sees his ideal girl hanging out with her friends. And he makes a few rounds. You don't have to talk to every single person, right? But he makes a few rounds in between this group over here, that group over there, and them. And then he goes to talk to his his target girl, as opposed to a guy who's just sitting by himself and then tries to get up and wander and make his way to his target girl. And he hasn't talked to anybody. He's still stifling himself. He's still in his own head. Treat social environments like social environments, and they will help you in that way. They will aid you. They will give to you in that sense, in that context, and make approaching much easier. And I think this is one of the things that both day game and night game have their easier points and tougher challenges, right? They each can swap, I think, right? Day game has some tougher points, night game has some tougher points, but this is one where a lot of people don't really utilize. So think about that and think about ways to implement that within your night game routine, within the run that you make in venue, wherever you do.